Hello again from me, David Mercer. Fru McMillan alongside me for this, the tense meeting between these two men, with Kafelnikov having a handy lead of 6-3. Indoors, pretty impressive, 4-1. But if there is a consolation for Tim Henman, this is the second time they've met in a final. The other was Tashkent last year, and Henman won on that occasion. Tim Henman can move to number 6 in the world if he wins this match. Yevgeny Kafelnikov will stay as number 2, but if he wins, he would have a chance to overtake Pete Sampras as the number 1 in the world next week, where of course he'll be defending his title at the Guardian Direct Cup in Battersea in London. So the Ahoy Stadium pretty well packed out for, I suppose, given that they're both playing their second final of the year, Fru, we could say two of the men really in form this year.
Yes, I think that's true, certainly true of Kafelnikov. What a terrific start he's had to the year, when one considers at the end of '97 he injured his right knee, first time he'd ever gone skiing, and then bringing in the new year, a firecracker scorched his forehead. Well, 1999 certainly been a lot better than that for him. Winner, of course, of the Australian Open, and looking really like a truly dedicated tennis player to me. Somebody who perhaps might well be number 1 in the world soon.
Romano Grillotti is our chair umpire. It's the best of 3 tie-break sets.
First set, Tim Henman to serve.
Henman won the spin of the coin, chose to serve.
Play.
He'll get the final underway. Well, if the rest of the match is like the first point, it's going to be pretty good.
Love 15.
Well, there's the kick second serve that Henman has developed over the last year or so. Do you think it's going to trouble Kafelnikov?
Well, I wouldn't have thought so, really. Of course, it did there. It caught Kafelnikov by surprise. But really, he's a man who uses his feet pretty well to that two-hander. Not as tall, of course, as Safin, who Henman played in the semis.
30-15.
First ace for Henman.
So 16 against Safin. Didn't lose his serve.
Talking of 16s, this is the 16th match of the year for both men. Henman's record 12 wins, 3 losses. Kafelnikov's 13 wins, 2 losses.
30-all.
We saw Henman staying back a reasonable amount, even behind his first serve, and doing a Kafelnikov, waiting for the short reply, and then pouncing on the second shot.
Well, a good deep second serve there from Henman.
Yes, almost a top spinner as opposed to one that kicks out to Kafelnikov's left. Must have been very close to the line. Kafelnikov gave it a look.
Game end.
2 aces. And Henman held serve at the start of the final.
First game.
Maybe it's the 400cc performance that catches your eye. Maybe it's something more. Another first from Suzuki, Bergman 400, a class on its own.
Andalusia begins and never ends. Andalusia, a world without end. Come to Andalusia. Andalusia, there's only one.
Well, we left it with Henman having held serve in the opening game of the match. The next two games went with serve. Here's Kafelnikov at 1-2.
15.
Henman thinking the serve may have been long. The foot fault called.
Yes, he was foot faulted against Rosetsky the one time. Wasn't hitting his serves against Rosetsky, just pushed them in.
The last time these two men played was in the Paris indoors last year, and Henman led 5-1 in the final set with 2 breaks, and got away from him at a match point. And serving for it the second time, Kafelnikov came up with a brilliant service return.
Well, fine finish really by Henman, but Kafelnikov erring here and really not doing much with the volley, just pushing it back, giving Henman a lot of time. Still, you can sometimes have a lot of time and blow forehands. Certainly is powering his serve a lot more against Henman than he did against Rosetsky. Couldn't quite understand. Of course, in the end, it was proved profitable. But it just seems to me that he's concentrating more on using his height, his technique, and his serve a lot more this year. And of course, it's reaped tremendous rewards so far.
Yes, financial rewards too. Over $500,000 already for Kafelnikov. The winner today, incidentally, takes $135,000 US. The runner-up 71,000. Well enough, their very first meeting was in this tournament in 1996 in the semi-finals. there was time there, wasn't there?
Yes, a very similar point really. And a point too, that is Kafelnikov taking the net quite a lot more. Of course, he will appreciate that if he doesn't, Henman will. So he's getting in first many a time.
The result of that match in 96, incidentally, Kafelnikov won 7-6, 6-3, won the tiebreak 7-4. Oh, well, that's a great shot, because that little slice of Henman's has worked so well for him this week.
Well, that's a spectacular point, really, showing two high-class players in high-class form from the back of the court, and then the crowd really appreciating Henman's touch, a little slice that is so difficult, of course, very often for two-handers, but Kafelnikov actually using the one hand so professionally, and a magnificent cross-court in front of Henman.
2-all opening set, no breaks.
Love 15.
Well, there are a lot of second serves very, very close to the line. That's how it should be, of course, if you can.
Yes, I can understand Kafelnikov's frustration there, because that was a much shorter second serve, and he sort of waited for it to come to him, expecting it to be deeper.
Yes, so really he had time to see that it was going to be short and advance towards the ball, but as you say, waited.
Henman really struggling with the first serve percentage.
Well, it would have been a good shot had it gone cross-court. It would have cleared the net. The net, of course, quite a bit higher towards the side than it is at the middle.
6 inches higher it should be, 3'6" to 3 foot. Well, he made just the right degree of adjustment. And interesting that he immediately apologised for the net call, because when they paid in Paris, Kafelnikov was fairly critical that Henman had had a lot of net calls and hadn't apologised.
Yes, it'll take them back a bit. And another apology.
He's normally so secure overhead.
30-40.
Yes, missed one or two in the Australian, but it's not like him. Perhaps even thinking about that Paris match as he was playing that.
So Kafelnikov with the chance for the first break.
Game Kafelnikov.
Well, that was a game where Henman, frankly, with 3 poor shots, has gifted it. It wasn't as if Kafelnikov played particularly well to break. Just poor play, I'm afraid, from Henman. 3-2 to Kafelnikov.
FIFA call it futsal, the British call it five-a-side, and now it's official. The first European Futsal Championship, Monday and Tuesday, live on Eurosport.
Europe's #1 sports channel has launched British Eurosport through NTL and On Digital. British presenters with their own distinctive style and a new look sports centre. British experts with a British perspective. British Eurosport will be on location when British stars make the headlines. We were there at the Australian Open and will be there at all the biggest live events for years to come. It's the future, and it's on British Eurosport.
If you've ever dreamed of winning a computer to connect yourself to www.eurosport.com, then listen carefully to this question. Which one of these skiers ended his career in '98? Alberto Tomba, Herman Maier, or Lasse Kuss? Don't forget, some fantastic computers must be won. And that's not all. Eurosport t-shirts are also up for grabs. So, call now. And good luck.
Kafelnikov then with the lead. 3-2.
Lot 15.
Well, I thought one of the features of Henman's semi was his quick movement about the court. Of course, he'd need that against Kafelnikov. But also puts a bit of pressure on Kafelnikov to go for an even harder, better shot.
Well, earlier in the week, the forehand down the line was working a treat for Henman. Just a little hurried on that one.
He's certainly seeing a much more aggressive Kafelnikov in terms of his desire to take to the net.
30-15.
And I'm sure Stefanki's had his part to play here, saying, look, you've got to at times take the net away from Henman.
Yeah, so much has happened in Yevgeny's life, really, over the last 6 months. Married, father, new coach, and suddenly fulfilling all the promise that has been around for a few years. I'm thinking back to 95, when he won 4 titles in the first half of the year, seemed poised then to become #1.
40-30.
And now with a great opportunity to do so again, particularly if he can win this match.
Game Kafelnikov.
Kafelnikov holds on to his break.
Kafelnikov leads 4-2.
And it's a mixture of going to the net, Stefanki there with chin in hand.
Next to Tomo Ocker, isn't it?
So it is, yes.
On his right, our left, and then it was Per Bastolt, the trainer.
Ocker, who won the inaugural event here in 1974.
And the doubles champions in 74 were?
Hewitt and Macmillan.
They won the odd title or two, didn't they? Oh, well, he seems to be reading Henman's mind, and he's coming up with some spectacular little touches.
And perhaps even more impressively, Henman actually reads Kafelnikov's mind, but can't really do much about it, because here Henman comes back to anticipate the cross-court. You see, he makes his move there and still can't get to it. This chap really is playing well.
Well, two doubles, and again, although Kafelnikov in this game has come up with that one brilliant rally, it's really self-inflicted wounds. 3 points for the double break. A break of serve to love, and Kafelnikov rampant. He leads 5-2 in the first.
Now you can communicate any way you want, by fax and email, internet and phone, all with a pocket-sized Nokia communicator. And now you can even communicate with pictures. Take a digital photo on a separate camera, send or receive it with the Nokia communicator. It's an easier way to communicate. Nokia, connecting people.
What is it about a classic ABBA song? Songs like Chiquitita, Dancing Queen, SOS and Waterloo. Summer Night City, Fernando, Super Trooper and The Name of the Game. Songs that lift you right up the moment they hit you. Now, for the first time, this is all in a very special box set. ABBA, The Collection. The best classic dance and romantic ABBA songs on 3 CDs or cassettes. There's also an exclusive video with the best footage of ABBA live. To get ABBA The Collection, you have to order by phone. For your copy, call now. Insight at Universal Music Group. We know great music when we hear it.
Four successive games for Yevgeny Kafelnikov, and he comes out now with the new balls to serve for the opening set at 5-2.
15.
Well, this is where there really is a marked change in Kafelnikov, because I never really had much confidence in him serving out sets, serving out matches. He used to have a lot of problems, almost chronic problems doing it. But straight away, 2 first serves.
Yes, of course, serve for the match against Tim Henman, their second meeting at Wimbledon, that match that really made Tim's reputation. 5-set thriller, coming from 5-3 down in the final set to win it. Yeah, it's terrific, isn't it? Three set points.
Everybody knew, including the players, that he had the whole court at his mercy. But it was a wonderful forehand.
Well, perhaps those nerves are coming back. Perhaps not through. I mean, obviously it's very simple to say, I must be the new coach, but what do you think it is that is bringing about this transformation in Kafelnikov?
Well, I think it's direction, and I do think the coach makes a difference. I think he had a terrific relationship with Lepeshin, but I think it had run its course. He needed really somebody just to be with him, to keep him on track all the time, and that's very often just what is needed. It's not necessarily a great change in technique. It's just a matter of using the skills that you've got somewhat better.
Second set then. Henman, having lost 5 successive games, desperately needs to hold here. He broke a string. He's going to change the racket.
Yes, because Henman just unsure of letting this bounce here, because had he done that, Kafelnikov would have got back into the court and may well have had a better play. So deciding to play the low volley, as we all know, not an easy one to play, but he managed it superbly. And looking at the stencils on his strings there, of course, tremendous rewards for these players if they can win majors like the Australian. The bonuses they get from their contractors, absolutely terrific. Even winning a tournament like this, there are likely to be some rewards, but for the majors, the rewards are pretty sky high. And of course, to be ranked in the top 10 is something else. To be ranked 1 in the world, that would be an extra high bonus as well.
Well, that's a positive start to the second set for Henman. A love service game.
First game, second set.
Just can't forget the film I saw last night on my Philips widescreen.
Got to admit it's getting better all the time.
Having everything you need to get you where you need to go doesn't amount to much if you don't know where your business is going in the first place.
In a situation like this, there are certain things you could use. But nothing else matters unless you have what you need most. That's why 4 out of 5 of the world's largest companies rely on CompuWare. What do you need most? CompuWare, people and software for business applications.
Welcome back. Well, we're going to pick up the action again now with Kafelnikov to serve 2-3 after a break and a re-break. Both men having broken serve in the early stages of the second set.
Well, he's having to play shots like that to win points. Kafelnikov moving pretty well too, and that was a Henman backhand a la his match against Agassi in Bar last year. Having to really drill it.
Grulotti from Milan, of course. Sadly no Milan indoors these days, but Milan's loss batters his gain. Right in the corner.
Well, this is really quality tennis. Kafelnikov perhaps even more dumbfounded by the fact that Henman played one superb backhand followed by a similar forehand.
Henman getting himself G'd up again, looking to break again.
30-40.
Almost to ruse that. Use the old string-a-ling, give yourself just a little time to gather your thoughts.
That's known as coming in on a wing and a prayer.
Yes, against Kafelnikov, perhaps even at this time last year, I think there may have been some success in this, but really not likely here.
My word, that's a little special.
Well, it was a wonderful shot by Henman, but you've got to fault Kafelnikov really for not doing much with this and pushing it into the court. You see, it lands just beyond the service line, bounces up nicely for Henman. Still a difficult one to put away, mind you.
Second break point. Henman's up, 4-2.
Well, anything short, really. The tennis is of such a high standard is going to get punished. Which is, of course, how it should be, but not always the case. And you see on these returns, Henman getting them so deep so that Kafelnikov can't play his usual counter-punching game with the serve softening up the opponent and then drilling the next shot for a winner.
Those are the sort of forehands Henman needs to pull off regularly if he's to consolidate this lead. His group there, his girlfriend Lucy on the left, his agent Jan Felgate in the centre, his coach David Felgate on the right, and David and Jan of course married to each other.
Almost a sigh of relief from the spectators. These chaps are human after all.
I think I'll have to take Yevgeny to my barber's next week when he's in Battersea. Get in his eyes a bit.
Oh, he's really keeping it all together so well, that one forehand apart, ground strokes and serve in unison.
Henman leads by 5 games to 2 in the second set. Kafelnikov will have to serve to stay in it.
In a situation like this, there are certain things you could use. Sometimes the thing needed most is really quite simple. To find it, 4 out of 5 of the world's largest companies turn to CompuWare. What do you need most? CompuWare, people and software for business applications.
What is it about a classic ABBA song? Songs like Chiquitita, Dancing Queen, SOS and Waterloo. Summer Night City, Fernando, Super Trooper and The Name of the Game. Songs that lift you right up the moment they hit you. Now, for the first time, this is all in a very special box set. ABBA, The Collection. The best classic dance and romantic ABBA songs on 3 CDs or cassettes. There's also an exclusive video with the best footage of ABBA live. To get ABBA The Collection, you have to order by phone. For your copy, call now. Insight at Universal Music Group. We know great music when we hear it.
Welcome back to Eurosport's coverage of the final from Rotterdam. First set to Yevgeny Kafelnikov 6-2, but now he trails 5-2 in the second. But will he be thinking about being 5-1 down in Paris and saying, well, I got out of that, no reason why I can't get out of this? How much do the players do they think of such things?
Well, I think occasionally.
15.
You know, it's a matter of really of finding something particularly positive. Negative thoughts you try and avoid. Of course, they come back to haunt you as well. You try and say, "Get thee behind me, Satan," in that case. And a lob played, unlike Henman, he's usually pretty good in those defensive lobs without a great deal of conviction. I think he may be thinking of serving for the sab. Of course, he won't overlook a little gift here.
Or take an opportunity there.
Well, that's outstanding, because Kafelnikov actually playing a pretty good volley. You see, he screws inside it, so the ball's actually going away from Henman, and really fools the Russian with that.
Well, I remember last year you and I often used to comment on how Alex Karecha was working on the sort of little chip backhand, and Henman certainly added that shot to his repertoire this week.
Yes, he plays it with a lot more finesse than Karecha, and it's a tactic that he uses well. In fact, he used it very well against Agassi.
Set point for Henman.
30-14.
Well, had there been any less power on the Kafelnikov serve, it might have been a bit more manageable.
Well, shame another really high quality rally had to end on an error.
Well, this crowd really is, they've of course been treated to some phenomenal players over the years, from Becker way back to Ash and many others, but this is as good as they've seen, I think.
Yes, Borg a champion here, Connors twice a champion here. The ace gets Kafelnikov out of that situation. Set point to Henman. Now the chance to serve for a set all, and with new balls to boot.
And I think I get the feeling they're seeing them about as big as those balls that are suspended over the court. So the fact that the new ones are maybe a little smaller and a little faster, I don't think will upset them at all.
Important for Henman to use them well by getting first serves in. That's a wonderful angle, a change of tactic, going in behind the second serve.
15 left.
Yes, this was Ed Berg again, wasn't it? Ed Berg himself a winner here. 1987, won both the singles and the doubles. And won it again in 88.
for service.
Well, fell away off that serve.
Yes, after the purple patch that we've seen, it was a bit like a lump of porridge falling on the floor.
Well, a couple of times there the ball seemed to come through very, very low.
Yes, that one was a sneaky bounce, no doubt about it.
But no first serve so far, 15-30.
Well, there was a university in the Netherlands that did research on the number of times players lose their serve with the new ball, and quite substantially high. You'd think it wouldn't be.
Henman furious with himself. He's missed out on the chance to level at a set all. 5-4 now.
If something matters to you, it still matters at 35,000 feet. So be good to yourself. Fly Emirates.
What do you see? What you see is a car that offers the ultimate in drivability and dependability. What you see is a car that not only looks better, but has a body armor that lasts. What you see is a car whose every detail is checked to ensure it's as reliable as it is ingenious. And what you see is a car that is as economically beautiful as it is beautiful to behold. What you see is a Hyundai. So prepare to want one.
Well, Tim Henman has failed to serve it out. He still has another chance to close out this set. Remember, he had a set point on Kafelnikov's last service game. But from 2-5 to 4-5.
But at least he can only just see the funny side of it, but it was a superb cross-court by Henman. It gave Kafelnikov no pace, trying to play the stop volley.
Well, opportunities again for Henman. Love 30.
Getting such good length. Unlike the first set, Kafelnikov was able to take to the net a lot more, but now because of the length and also the appreciation, greater appreciation of the Henman passing shots, keeping him back.
15.
Behind Kafelnikov, distracting Henman. But the delay not distracting Kafelnikov.
No, it came at just the wrong time for him because he was certainly on his way to serving. I think we can safely say it wasn't gamesmanship.
Well, disappointment there from Henman from love 30, losing the next 4 points. And even greater disappointment, of course. A 5-2 lead has gone away. And now he must get back down to work very rapidly, forget about those chances. But you've got to think, well, 5-2 this set, 5-1 the last set they played. Got to be gnawing away at him. Last set of the last match they played, I should correct myself. Word, that was close, and he knows it.
15.
Yes, close, but he knows it was out. And they certainly, I mean, the last 3 wins that Kafelnikov has have all been so competitive, 3 sets each time. And I remember the match they played here, Henman had a set point in the tiebreaker that he lost in Rotterdam in '96.
Again, really seems to be falling away to his left just occasionally. I can only assume that he's getting the ball toss wrong. It's too far to the left.
Yes, and I think possibly too, fearing Kafelnikov's return, just trying to put a little bit of extra kick on the second serve, but really the point is he shouldn't be serving as many seconds. He was 4 out of 5 in the last service game, 3 out of 3 now, missed first serves.
That's a volley that you wouldn't expect him to miss.
Yes, that's a bit mindful of some of the volleys late against Kuchera. Really, I thought Kafelnikov was a little defensive there. Expected him to do a bit more with the ball. It's almost as if he knew that Henman was going to make a silly mistake.
Mistake this time, but still can't buy a first serve. 1 out of 9.
Yes, impressive, making room for the forehand here, and lovely balance too, using the left hand so well. Yes, they've got a lot of shops here, merchandising, selling this and that. I wonder if they sell first serves.
Oh, that's stunning. That is stunning. And it's break point, and Kafelnikov has turned this set on its head.
Yes, you've really just got to say good shot. I know it's difficult in this situation, but Henman played that point, I thought, perfectly. Murmurs of delight from this crowd. Who says that chip backhands don't succeed? Every time they've played them close to the net like skimmers across the water, the crowd's in ecstasy.
Yes, and of course they've been so used to big servers, big serve and volleyers winning the title here over the last few years, that this all-court game, of course, Henman can't get to the net to play any volleys because he can't get the first serve in. Yes! Hallelujah! How many had he gone without serving one?
What, aces?
No.
First serves. Well, seven, the 8th point back.
Yeah. So Henman clings on from break point down. He's ahead once more. 6-5 in the second set.
FIFA call it futsal, the British call it five-a-side, and now it's official. The first European Futsal Championship, Monday and Tuesday, live on Eurosport. After the intense drama of the World Championships, a chance for revenge. Or a chance to rub it in, to remind everyone else who's best. The FIS Alpine Skiing World Cup from Are, every day at 15:30 and 18:30 CET, 2:30 and 5:30 UK, live on Eurosport.
If you've ever dreamed of winning a computer to connect yourself to www.eurosport.com, then listen carefully to this question. Which one of these skiers ended his career in 98? Alberto Tomba, Herman Maier, or Lasse Kuss? Don't forget, some fantastic computers must be won. And that's not all. Eurosport t-shirts are also up for grabs. So, call now. And good luck.
Five-six, second set. Kafelnikov having to serve for a third time to stay in the set, having been at one stage 2-5 down. 2-5 and 30-40 down. Seems a long time ago now.
Well, down to the nitty-gritty, and Kafelnikov showing a bit more urgency, or even more urgency. This is really how he won the first set so comfortably, taking the play to Henman. He reverting to norm here too, just throwing the ball up a little low, and he gets anxious. And it's really not often we've seen Henman able to do that.
Not often you see Henman miss a backhand that badly either.
No, he seemed to be trying to force it, and yet at the same time really get a high bounce on the ball, played with quite a bit of top.
We'll go to a second set tiebreak.
Well, this is the 27th set they've played against each other, and Kafelnikov leads 3-2 in tiebreakers. Well, doing immediately, taking advantage of the second serve. Really expected him perhaps to do a bit more of this in the match. But winning a point where his fellow Russian couldn't win a whole tiebreak along, Safin.
Yes, in the second set tiebreak yesterday, Henman won at 7-love. The first one was tied at 9-7, in which Safin had 2 set points, including one on his own serve, in which he preserved a double. Yes, there really was an opportunity to get hold of a second serve himself.
Yes, he knows he didn't move his feet.
Mini break is recovered.
2-1. Kafelnikov.
Promptly conceded again.
Yes, he really ended up the match against Safin serving very, very well again. But those two aces, I think, were deceiving in the last service game.
Well, good anticipation, but Kafelnikov furious with himself. Didn't keep it low enough.
Look at the wonderful footwork by Kafelnikov, but just marvelous anticipation, and even though it was hit a little high, it was still an extremely difficult shot, and not an easy volley to make.
3-2. Well, we had 4 breaks to serve in the set, and now we've had 4 points against the serve in the tie-break, 3-all.
Yes, got the crowd elated again. And just thinking back to that Kafelnikov two-hander down the line, if it may be so important now, of course. Plenty of room. It's one of those situations where you try and work out, you've got to do it very quickly, of course, whether you feel that you've got enough time to play a big shot, and the opening is there, and I think he did the right thing. To try and wrong foot Henman at that stage would have been wrong, but it just shows Henman's class, his ability, his hands at the net. Not too many people would have brought off that volley. It may yet be a match saver.
Kafelnikov.
Standard of serving in the tiebreaker not been good, and consequently really returns are not good enough either.
Oh, that's stunning. Of course, if you do go cross-court, you open up the angles, but Kafelnikov still had to make the shot.
Yes, chiefly because Henman kept it so low, and it's very difficult for the two-hander to scrape one off the shoelaces as he did, but even though he's got, as we know, a wonderful two-hander down the line.
So for the 3rd time in this tie-break, Henman a mini break down, never led in it. Oh dear.
6-3. Kafelnikov.
3 championship points for Yevgeny Kafelnikov to become the first double winner on the men's tour this year. The Australian Open champion looking to be the champion of Rotterdam. He was runner-up here to Ivanisevic in '96. There it is. Kafelnikov confirms that he's the class act at the moment. Henman will rue the chances he had in the 2nd set.
Well, Tom Hocker and co really applauding a quality match. So there really was some of the best indoor tennis one could wish to see. Henman serving wasn't quite what it was, but then he was up against very much a player in form, the player in form.
So there we are, Rotterdam's over. We'll be moving on to Battersea for the Guardian Direct Cup. These two will be here. Kafelnikov seeded 1, Henman seeded 2. We start our coverage on Tuesday. Do hope you'll join us then. From Phil McMillan and myself and all the tennis team at Eurosport. Bye-bye for now.
Sports Centre with Fila.
And hello again to you. Well, I'm Jeremy Langdon at the Sports Centre. You've seen Kafelnikov win, and there was also a win today for Jana Novotná in the Faber Grand Prix in Hanover. Now, she beat Venus Williams 6-4, 6-4, and it now means Novotná has won all 3 matches she's played against Williams, who's 12 years younger than the Czech. And it was a ripping topspin backhand to seal the win for Novotná. Travelling Hanover Rising, another trophy for Jana Novotná. Well, moving to Austria and Bischofshofen, a German double today in the ski jumping at the Nordic World Championships. Now the Germans have gone to Vail and not won a medal in the Alpine World Championships, but they made amends today with Martin Schmitz grabbing gold after jumps of 126 and then 129.3.
Must win this event if he